I just want to let you guys know that I started this reading vlog and deleted my footage about a dozen times now. I just don't know how to make this reading vlog interesting. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now for today's video, I thought I would do a reading vlog, although I just don't know how to make things more interesting for you guys. I feel like a lot of people do like a lot of b-roll, a lot of behind the scenes of what they do during their day to keep themselves entertained. And honestly, all I can really do is just give you some life updates and to have a sit down and chat with you. So it's not really dynamic. Maybe as I grow more and more comfortable with reading vlogs, they can be more interesting. But so far I've had a long weekend where I had Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday off. All I did was just go on these really beautiful long walks. There's a trail near my house where I just found myself kind of getting lost in the forest a lot of the times, listening to my audiobooks. One of my favorite things that I'm doing right now is listening to a Regency romance novel while going on these long walks and just kind of like imagining myself in those like situations back in the olden days where I didn't have internet or social media to think about, and all I can do is just kind of like relax and read books, and just decompress a bit. So for this reading vlog, I am going to be reading a series that I think is very shocking that I've never read for a lot of you guys. It is the Wallflowers series by Lisa Kleypas. Yes, I know I'm a historical romance reader. I recommend you guys historical romances, but I am a fraud because I never read one of the most popular series ever published in historical romance. And the Wallflowers series is essentially about 4 girls who are older and they're considered spinsters, and then they all realize that they're growing too old and they need to go trap a husband. So they all work together to plan schemes and to like think of ways how to get themselves into situations where they are going to fall in love or to find a suitable candidate to help resolve the issues that they each have. Now, like I said, I'm a horrible vlogger, right? I don't really do anything that's interesting for you guys to keep you guys interested. And I also don't start the vlogs at the right time. So after I finished Secrets of a Summer Night, that's when I decided, hey, you know what? Let's just do a reading vlog. And that was stupid of me because you never saw any like live reaction to me reading this book. You never saw any updates. But just sit with me, just hold on, just believe in me for a little bit as I kind of just dive deeper into the book that I've already read ahead of me filming this video. So Secrets of a Summer Night is the first book in the series. We meet Annabelle, and she is the poor girl in the group. She has no money left, and it's really hard for her to find a suitor because they're always interested in what she brings to the table. And since she doesn't have enough money to bring to the table, she needs to find other ways to trap a husband. And so her 3 friends and her try to think of a way to trap some rich men. And then annoyingly, we have this man that keeps getting into her way and keeps like trying to get her attention and try to stop her plans from falling in love or marrying someone wealthy without falling in love. And that is our hero. And our hero's name is Simon Hunt, but he goes by Hunt. Anyways, they have this enemies to lovers romance in the beginning because they can't see eye to eye, and he wants to reveal her to the mass and say that she is just a gold digger, but he reluctantly realizes that he is attracted to her and there's something about her that he is drawn to. So he starts a bet with her and says that like, I bet I can seduce you, and I bet I can make you fall in love with me, and I bet I can do all these things to you. And she's very stubborn in herself, and she doesn't think it's true, and she doesn't believe him at all. But then obviously they both fall in love and they both get married, which is really cute in the book. So once they get married, that's where like most of the plot line happens. I feel like for the majority for the book, it was just to kind of build out the whole series, the fact that we have 4 girls who really desperately want husbands. So the first part of the book did drag a little bit because I already knew the premise of the book, but I understand why it was there. It was to kind of set up for the rest of the series and to get us to know the characters more so that we're drawn into the rest of the book and the rest of the quartet. But then towards the last bit is where we get some a little bit more drama with the family members, a little bit more drama with like some action, some thriller, and some evil characters there here and there that was just kind of thrown in last minute. But by the time that it was thrown in, it kind of already lost my attention a bit. So halfway through the book, I was kind of just dragging my feet to finish it. Although I did finish it within one day, I felt like it was just a little bit hard for me to concentrate in the novel. I didn't read this book physically. I listened to the audiobook, so I do blame myself for listening to the audiobook too quickly. I listened at 3.5 times the speed, and I think I should have listened to it at least 3 times the speed so I could get really into the characters, because right now I find myself struggling with listening to audiobooks when I'm not hyper focused, because when I'm not focused I kind of just like forget what the hell is happening in the narration in the book. So when I listen to audiobooks, I have to do like something that only allows me to think about the audiobook, which is like walking in a general park. I live in a relatively safe neighborhood where nobody died recently, so you know, hopefully I don't die in that forest. But the next book that I am reading is this one called It Happened One Autumn, which is book number 2 in the series. This one follows our heroine who is from America. She is not accepted by society a lot of the times because she's from the colonies, even though her country, America, has been independent for a very long time now. They kind of look at her as she's barbaric, she doesn't know society's rules, she's not prim, she's not proper, she's not the proper lady. So once again, very bad with updating you guys on this reading vlog because I'm already probably halfway through the book. We got to know our main character, we got to know our hero, we got to see them have this really like lovely enemies to lovers relationship so far. So quick quirk about this book is that our heroine actually bought a fragrance that was sold to her as a love potion. So she put it on and then she attracted our hero, and now she thinks that our hero only likes her or is only attracted to her because of this love potion. Meanwhile, our hero is confused because he doesn't know what's attracting her to him and like why he's just so into her and why he just always wants to kiss her and why he finds beauty within her. But I think it's not the love potion. Spoiler. I think it's just mostly him being confused that he's finding himself loving someone who's the complete opposite of him, which is the trope that I love the most, when you are reluctant to believe that you can fall in love with someone that's so different from you and that can kind of just change your personality and make you live a little. Our heroine's definitely the type of person who gets herself into trouble a lot of the times, and our hero is there to always kind of rein her in and make sure she doesn't get herself too much in trouble. So far in the book, what we've seen is that she played unconventional sports like baseball, her doing riding lessons and riding things when she shouldn't be riding on horses because it might be too dangerous for her and she might snap her neck. And we've seen a protective hero who has always been kind of like just being grouchy and grumpy, standing on the sidelines watching her do all these acts that could cause her to be put in danger and to obviously have her fall to her death, which is not something that he wants for some reason. Like, he just doesn't understand it. He can't stand her, but he also can't stand her getting hurt, or can't stand the idea of her getting hurt. And I really like the book so far. I read this book 6 years ago in 2015. 8 years ago? Holy, I can't do math. 8 years ago, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. So far, I'm really liking it. Again, right now it's sitting at a 4-star range, but I'm sure like the other half of the book will give me to the 5 out of 5 stars range. So for the rest of the day, I don't really have anything special to do. I usually go on really, really long walks. So this morning I went on a long walk already. It was like 50 minutes. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm gross right now underneath all this makeup. But I don't know if I want to take off my makeup yet because I am going to the shopping mall with my sister after she comes back from the gym, because I have to return a bunch of things that I bought. So I'm going to go to the mall, but then I'm also thinking like, should I go for another small walk? But I'm also really tired because yesterday I didn't really sleep that much. I only slept for like 6 hours. Like, life update, just very quick life update. I've just been reading. Shocking, right? I've been reading a lot recently, which I'm trying to get out of my like reading slump and my reading funk. I don't think it's a reading slump anymore. I think it's a reading funk where I am constantly picking up books that are 3.5 out of 5 stars, 3 stars, maybe even 2 stars even. I never really pick up a book that is like exciting, you know, that makes me want to read more. The only thing that's keeping me reading more right now is the idea that the next book could be a 5-star read. So essentially, instead of filming this vlog, I should be filming one of those videos where it's like, this video ends once I find a 5-star read, because I am very struggling right now. But that video would have been like maybe like 4 weeks long. So recent books I've read, I think I want to film like separate videos for this, but since they're already on my table, I want to kind of talk about it. So Coulter is an author that I have bought a lot of her books from. It's like an eBay lot. I was just curious because her books have really beautiful stepbacks and they're double page stepbacks, and I know that she writes a lot of books, so she's very well known in the space. I want to try it out. Randomly picked this book off my shelf last night. I just saw it, read the back, and it seemed like something that I really wanted to read. So, trigger warning for sexual assault, but our heroine is not sexually assaulted by our hero. She is just kind of like put in that area where she is almost sexually assaulted, and then she has to run away from her home because she does not feel safe anymore. Her sister is pure evil. Her sister does not believe her that her husband tried to sexually assault her. So she finds herself helpless. So she runs away. She goes into a forest. It's like a blizzard. It's the most horrible snowstorm this year. And she ends up slipping, hitting her head, falling asleep in the snow. And then our hero, who is also lost in the blizzard in the forest, comes and finds like her body on the floor, and it's like, what is this? Why are you here? You're gonna die. So he picks her up, brings her back to his cottage, and it's where like for like 4 days, like a giant chunk of this book is caregiving, where he's like caring for her, making sure that she stays alive, you know, bathing her, making sure that she breaks her fever, and you know, and just tries to take care of her. And then because of that section of the time where they're spent alone together, obviously her reputation is ruined. And there are so many complexities to this plot. Like there's so many like different characters who like play roles in this plot that makes it more complicated than it seems, because there's a lot of like, you know, the evil sister and the evil husband trying to get her reputation ruined so then they can get the inheritance. And then meanwhile, you have the grandfather who needs to die in order to give the inheritance, but he doesn't want to give it to the sister because he knows deep down the sister's crazy. And then you have like his friends who are like, oh dude, what are you doing? Like, why do you have a girl in your house? You know, so it's just much more complicated than what I'm putting it out to be. But essentially it boils down to caregiving, her reputation being ruined, and what's going to happen next. Is he going to marry her to make sure that she lives like a fruitful life, or is he just going to abandon her and then she's just going to live her life without any help whatsoever because she's cut off from everything now, right? So what I really liked about this book was that our heroine was so like ahead of her times. Like she was such a spitfire. So this book was probably written in the 1990s, I think. It was written in 1997. So our heroine is not a pushover whatsoever. She is so ahead of her times in thinking about feminism. She's thinking about reputation. She's thinking about like how it's so unfair that only her reputation is ruined. Her life is ruined from spending these nights with this guy, but this guy gets to walk away free without any care in the world, you know, and he's even like, you know, renowned as a hero for saving her. Meanwhile, she's a ruined person. And now she has to live her life in misery. I liked how stubborn she was at times because she stood her ground for what she believed was right. And then I also liked how he was just such a sweet hero, but he can be a little bit like dumb sometimes with the things that he says and the way that he acts. And so there was a part of it where I just didn't believe it. Like she fell in love way too quickly and I just didn't believe it. So unfortunately, this book is not a perfect 5 out of 5 stars for me. It's more of like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, and it definitely made me really curious and interested in reading more Catherine's books, and I put it over there because her writing is like spectacular. Like the way that she writes is so nice. The way that she phrases her sentences is very clever. The way that she develops her characters are very clever, and I'm excited to read what's next from her. If you guys have read her before and if you guys have favorites from her, please let me know in the comments down below because I want to know if I have those books and then I can put those as priority. This weekend, I had such a strong craving for books with our heroes being very barbaric. So this is Wild by Margo Macguire. I bought this book a long time ago. Ooh, a long time ago. I finally got a chance to read it. It's our hero who was lost in Africa. So he was 10 years old. He went on a voyage trip with his family. Then he fell off a ship, and then he was disappeared, right? And he was raised and taught and grew up in Africa, and he is just not what society wants, right? Because he's now different. He's more tan, he's more wild, he's beastly. He just doesn't care about social customs, rules, decorum, whatever. I don't care. He doesn't care about it, right? So he's brought back to England because he needs to take ownership of the earldom, and she is the secretary of his grandma, and she is complete opposite. She is type A, she's sophisticated, she's put together. So she is tasked with the task to train him and to make sure that he's going to be a good citizen and that he's going to follow the rules and not bring shame to the family. So they go head to head a lot, and they have to spend a lot of time together where she's teaching him everything. And it's exactly what I wanted, in a sense, where I wanted him to be more barbaric on the side and him to kind of just take her, fall in love with her, and like be confused. Like, it was just kind of like my thing that I wanted. But the thing is that I felt that she was so stubborn. You know, she wasn't as, you know, she didn't give into it as much as I wanted her to give into it. So she kept pushing him away a lot. So that kind of like messed with the flow of the story, because it was just so simple. It was so easy for her to give in to him, but she wouldn't do it. Came to the time where he just kept saying, you know, England's not for me. I'm gonna go back to Africa. You can teach me everything, but I'm going back to Africa. So they were both just kind of like not giving in. And I was like, okay, both of you guys are annoying me right now. Okay, get it together, because I want you guys together right now. So it was frustrating a bit. And then obviously towards the end they have to be together because it's a happily ever after. But there was just like something missing from like the plot of the story to make me give this a 4 out of 5 stars. So I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I have 2 other books by Margo Macguire in the series after this. So I have The Warrior. I'm excited. I don't know, like, I'm excited to read more of her books. I don't think she published a lot of books. I think these are probably like the main... Oh, never mind. I just realized that she published a lot of books in the past. I just never heard of her before, and I don't have any of her other books. But I'm excited to read other books by her because this one was a good start. I think right now I'm gonna listen to It Happened One Autumn. I'm gonna refill my coffee because I'm getting tired. And then we're gonna see where the world takes us. Okay, so as you can clearly tell, I took off my makeup, and basically I'm just waiting for my sister to come home from the gym because I'm done filming my videos for the day. I feel like there's nothing left in me to give. There's no more of my sarcastic personality trait that you guys can see. So I don't know what I'm gonna do until she comes back home. I don't know if I want to edit a video, but fun fact, I finally got into Afterlight subscription, so now I am a subscriber. So now I don't have to fight for my life to get these exclusive editions of these romance novels. Truly happy and excited for what's to come. My bank account's probably not going to be excited that I have to spend so much money on shipping and buying these books in British pounds. I'm also taking a look at the bookish shop right now because they have the Spanish Love Deception that's coming out tomorrow, and I was just kind of checking out things out. Apparently I have to get a subscription in order to place an order on that book. I got some dill pickle chips, and I might just watch something on Netflix. There's this new show called See You in My 19th Life, and it's a Korean drama. It's only 12 episodes, but they only released 2 episodes so far, so it's a short series, and it's basically about this girl who remembers every single one of her past lives that she had, and one of her most memorable life that she had was meeting our hero before like she died, and then she reincarnated. Is that how you say the word? She comes back alive into a different body and she meets him again. So yeah, I don't know if I want to start that one or if I want to start editing a video or if I just go back to my book. But right now I'm a little bit tired, so I don't know if I want to go back to my audiobook and listen to it. I'm 50% in. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just that I'm losing things to do to keep track. I mean, like, I have a coloring book. Should I just color and listen to the audiobook? I don't know, guys. We'll see where life takes us. Honestly, I'm a horrible vlogger, but I came back from the mall and I didn't take any shots because they were just ugly shots anyways. But I got myself a cha time. It looks disgusting. It looks disgusting. It's a chocolate bubble tea with pudding in it. I'm sure it'll taste good. Okay, I know I said it's my day off, but I still have work to do. I have to catch up on work, so I think I'm just gonna listen to It Happened One Autumn while working, and I think I can finish the audiobook while working because it'll take about 2 hours, 3 hours maybe of work to do. I know, I'm working on my day off. It is life. Comment down below if you have the same experiences as I do. And also if the angle looks weird because I keep cutting off my chin, it's because I don't have makeup on and my chin broke out because, you know, hot girl things. Okay, I am 85% into the book, so I have 1 hour and 40 minutes left, and I am loving it so far. I honestly love a jealous hero, and there are so many opportunities in this book where our hero was just really jealous because our heroine is very confused by our hero because he's always hot and cold towards her. So she doesn't care about him, and she's like an independent woman, so she decides that she's gonna try to find somebody else to court her. And so she's always interacting with his friends because she wants, you know, a ring. And he is always trying to stop her from going towards these guys because he doesn't trust them, even though they are his friends. He doesn't trust his friends because he thinks that nobody's good enough for her. So anyways, I really like it so far. And now we're in the situation where our hero has finally come into terms with his feelings towards her, and then our heroine is really just realizing that she can't let him go even though he's just so stubborn. Anyways, it is currently 6:55 p.m. I think I'm almost done work for today. I think I got some few things that I need to clean up after I take a shower, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have dinner, and then after I have dinner I'm gonna come back and clean up some stuff, and then I'm gonna log off, and then I'm gonna continue doing my other stuff, meaning I'm either gonna edit a video. I don't feel like editing a video, honestly. Or I'm gonna go read a book. The book that I want to read is a Karen Hawkins novel. So this is book number 2. I'm not gonna read this one first. I'm gonna read book number 1 first, but book number 1 is like far away from me right now. But book number 1 is called Her Master and Commander. This is the second book called Her Officer and Gentleman. And then this one is about... Okay, the synopsis doesn't really tell me much about this book, but it's about a bookish heroine who thinks that, you know, her life is perfect just with her books, and she's content with her life until our hero kind of just storms in, all handsome and manly on a horse. She is suddenly aching and desiring for more. I love Karen Hawkins novels. Well, I've read like maybe 3 books from her, and all her books are super funny, so I'm excited to see how funny this book is. Unflattering angles are my thing in reading vlogs. This is by far one of the worst, most chaotic reading vlogs I have ever put out. I apologize. I promise you guys I will try my best. I will do better. Stick with me until now. But anyways, I took a shower, I ate dinner. I didn't end up going back to work because... why? Like, why do I have to give myself everything to my job? You know what I'm saying? So what I did instead was that I laid in my bed and I finished the audiobook for It Happened One Autumn. And this is like a live reenactment of like how I was reading this book because it was so freaking cute. I was dying because like I just remembered why I love this book so much. Like, our heroine and hero are both so stubborn, but you can tell that our hero is just like head over heels in love with her, and then she is so stubborn because she thinks that he doesn't love her as much as she loves him, and it's like not true at all. There is like some really like evil, nasty things that happen towards the end of the book. Everybody's safe, nobody got hurt, but it was just like the drama that we all needed to tie the story together. I would have to say that this book is wild because if you guys want toxic mothers representation, this book is it. Like, her mother is awful. Her mother is always constantly forcing her to behave, and she's so cruel about it. And then his mother is straight up psycho. So they're a match made in heaven, and I just know that they're gonna be so happy together. We also have like a little bit spoiler of like what's to happen with Devil in Winter, and my guy, the urge for me to just like start Devil in Winter right now this second is so strong. But I really want to start reading Karen Hawkins' novel. Like, I want to put a pause on reading the quartet And then, yeah, so anyways, that is the conclusion of this reading vlog. I know it happened so quickly. It was just mostly me, bad angles everywhere. And yeah, I promise I'll do better in the next reading vlog. But I'll see you guys again next time for part 2 of reading the Wallflowers series.